Now that XRP is at its highest point ever, what will happen these days? What else should we keep an eye on that might send the price of XRP through the roof? Today I see 8 or 10 things that could really make what we have better. This video will be about those 8 or 10 things. First, let us look at this. First, we need to fully understand what's going on with SEC and Ripple. I believe that case should be dropped before the SEC gives the XRP spot ETFs the go-ahead. So that can happen. The SEC needs to give up their cross appeal, and Ripple will be in court on August 15th. So far, only Ripple has dropped their cross appeal. It hasn't been done yet by the SEC. It looks like the review process is almost over. On August 15th, both sides will get together and the SEC will talk about this. There's no way that an answer can be found before the report on August 15th. What will happen before August 15th? Experts in the law in the area say this is not likely to happen. We should find out how much longer this lasts on August 15th. Should do. The injunction means that Ripple can't sell unregistered XRP to institutions until the court lifts it. This is not likely to happen during the current time of the injunction. All of this was said and done years ago, so it shouldn't change the fact that XRP is not a security for deals on the secondary market. We don't even need to pay attention to this part. What could make the SEC take longer to close the case or take back an appeal? If the SEC doesn't drop the case as promised, we could get into a lot of problems. I hope that doesn't happen. People might sell XRP if that happened because they don't want to hold on to it if this case goes on. A lot of people want this to be over with in the next few years. I need to tell you about the risks, even though I don't think this will happen. Both sides need to talk more or do something at the last minute. It's also possible for things to get held up at the last minute. It could also take longer if the judge wants to hold more meetings or asks both sides for more details. We should hope those things don't happen. The plan comes out on August 15th, and this is all over in 2 months. I believe the SEC will then okay the spot XRP ETFs. Don't forget that 11 businesses have told us they want to make goods that work like ETFs. A lot of them are spot ETFs. BlackRock is another one. I consider it to be one of the largest organizations that handle money. BlackRock has decided to go ahead with a Bitcoin ETF because their clients asked them to. It is the biggest and most well-known ETF they've ever had. This makes me think that BlackRock is also thinking about other crypto business ideas for their next big deal. One of those choices is XRP. I did make a movie about Nate Garassi here. This guy knows lots of people. He has a store that sells ETFs. He knows some BlackRock employees and believes that they will apply for an XRP ETF. Because of this, that is one choice we could make. Talks about a Ripple IPO or, of course, going around. First, let me show you this. See how many people want XRP ETFs right now? These are the most important ETF applications that the SEC is interested in. It goes from 10 XRP to 1 Aptosis. It's clear that people want an XRP ETF more than they want Solana, which is in second place. These businesses are clearly very aware of what they believe their clients will find most interesting. That's because of people like you who use XRP. I don't need or want the Solana troops to show up every day like you do. There is an army for Litecoin or Doge. They will get these things to you as quickly and safely as they can because that tells them a lot about you as a person. A room for IPOs has also been talked about, right? Circle's IPO was just over and it went really well for them. Brad Garlinghouse did say a few months ago that Ripple doesn't want to go public right now. Most of the time companies go public to get money. It has more than 100 now. We'll have to see what Ripple thinks about that in 24, but some people think it will happen. The Ripple IPO will happen. If it does, the IPO will change the price of Ripple shares, but not XRP. People may buy a lot of XRP after hearing this news. Of course, there are goals for the RUSD safe coin. It's not even close to 500 million RLUSD. By the end of the year, it should be between 800 million and 1 billion. Stable coins are also being used in new ways by businesses. Blue Chip just gave the Ripple stablecoin RLUSD, the highest score of all stablecoins in the world. They got an A, the Tether got a D, Circle got an A plus. Groups are also looking at this and saying, hey, Tether doesn't look too hot right now, does it? We most likely don't want to work with Tether if they have a D. This is why Tether got a D. It's not clear to the public and organizations that they have the money to back up their $60 billion cent stablecoin. They don't say that they only back it with one big. A lot of people have been told not to do this. That could be a big black swan event next time. It'd be very bad if any proof gets out that Tether doesn't have the money. That would definitely be good for Ripple. Circle and other stablecoin players who show up every day and follow the law would be able to do business in the US and everywhere else in the world better with this. Ripple has just put in for a national banking license. In order to get a US banking license, it could take 6 to 12 months. Some people said that Ripple could become a bank in about a week after they applied. I looked into this and made a movie about it to show that it wasn't true. People should be able to say out loud if they believe Ripple should really turn into a bank. There has never been a person who could just get a bank license and go straight to the next step. It takes a long time. Still, I think this could happen in 20, but think about it, because Ripple is a bank, they will talk to other banks in person or peer-to-peer. That says a lot, right? You can depend on them. This is already there because bankers know what they need to do every day to keep their businesses going. You already know that there are many stories. A lot of writing has to be done. By letting banks work directly with each other, Ripple would also get an edge over rivals who don't have that rank. These changes would also speed up the use of RUSD and make Ripple's financial world more trustworthy and legitimate. The Fed would also give them a main account where they could keep US dollars and funds. A lot of people believe that Ripple could become the US safe coin. We still don't know for sure. These are just stories that go around this X area. The XRP system has changed in big ways, of course. A lot of changes have been made or are being made. As an example, transaction fees have been lowered, which has made the price even lower and made institutions like local bank tracks more useful in everyday life. This makes it easier for banks and fintechs to work together. Business users will be able to use it after this system is set up. Keep in mind that I've written a lot about how long it really takes for a bank to set up their own crypto infrastructure. It could take banks anywhere from 2 to 5 years to make their own processes better. Because of this, banks are likely to pick the tech of companies like Ripple, Circle, Fireblocks, and others in this group. People might go to other banks instead of the one that doesn't have these new services because they are so useful. Use money in disorder, you lose people. There are banks in the world that don't adapt to new times, will be remembered as ones that failed. This is why I believe banks are working hard to make their processes better right now. If they want to do this quickly and well, they will use Ripple and other providers. The EVM sidechain is another one. It's important. It was just released a few weeks ago. In the first week, 1,400 smart contracts were made live. A lot of people want it too. As many as 15,000 or 16,000 TPS have been seen on the EVM sidechain. We'll have to, of course, we'll test that when we get there. But those bigger TPSs were seen in the first tests of the EVM sidechain. To show you how they compare, Visa deals with anywhere from 3 to 5,000 transactions every second. Up to 50,000 files can be sent every second. Not more than 1,000 exchanges happen every second.